How did you get the name Crowbar?
Annette, what was,
That's an interesting story.
what was Annette's last name? York.
Monticello.
Annette York. Richie York's wife.
Okay.
We were having our picture taken at the Canadian National Exhibition Grounds, and we were called Full Tilt Boogie Band. And so she said, "Did you hear what Ronnie Hawkins said about you guys the other day?" Why, no, I didn't. Why? What did he say? Because he had just fired us a couple of weeks ago.
You were a Hawk? You were in...
Yeah, we were the Hawks, yeah. And although he called us and many others, Ronnie Hawkins and many others. And so I said, no, what did he say? And she said that we were a nice bunch of guys, but we could fuck up a crowbar in 10 seconds.
And that's how you got the name?
Yeah.
And
And we all looked at each other when she said it and went, wow, there's the name. Fucked up. No, crowbar. Oh, yeah, crowbar.
So, you were a Hawk.
Yeah.
I remember the Full Tilt Boogie Band. Was that at the band shell at the CNE?
Oh, yeah, as a matter of fact, it was at the band shell. Blues. but we have many crowbars in the background here. Crowbarians. And
Do you have a story about Sonny Bernardi?
yes, I do. I remember one time we played Maple Leaf Gardens, and was it when Edjo brought his bike out on stage?
Yep.
And I rode out on the bike, and then Sonny came behind us wearing a tutu, a ballet tutu with tights, pink wings, and a magic wand.
You made me do it.
I did make him do it.
You made me do it.
I did make him do it.
Do you have all those things at home already, Sonny?
Yeah, they're in a plastic container.
And also the Pierre Elliott Trudeau, we were there for Lester Pearson's birthday.
This is a famous picture of you on stage in front of tens of thousands of people with Pierre Trudeau on your shoulder.
No.
No? I want to hear that.
No, that
story.
didn't happen.
I saw the picture.
Well, it's been photoshopped.
It wasn't photoshopped back then.
Oh, Pierre had way too much dignity, but we did tell him. We did tell him at this one rally that they had that he should. I said to him, "Look, take this tambourine and this wolf hat of mine, and come out on stage with a pair of sunglasses on, and wear this dashiki. Remember dashikis, the African
Dresses for men.
I said, wear this and play tambourine with us for the whole set, or for half a set, for Oh, What a Feeling." Kelly, that sounds wonderful. Yes, I could do that. So we're all set. I give him all the stuff, leave it for him for backstage. And I hear, halfway through our set, I hear the crowd parting and whatever, and he's walking up the middle in his gray suit. No, he didn't do it. He didn't come out on stage. So we finished our set. Oh, what a feeling. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. 17,000 kids left Maple Leaf Gardens. And Pierre was standing there. I said to him backstage, "Man, what the hell's the matter with you? You like had the opportunity of a lifetime. You had all those kids." "I should have done it. I should have done it, man."
So he was the prime minister then.
Yeah.
And you yelled at him because he didn't get up on stage with you.
Well, he was an easy guy to yell at. He was just one of the guys. He was one of the band.
We need another one.
When we were there, yeah, we do need another one like that. I mean, I'm all for. Let me say that my heart goes for Justin Trudeau, simply because he's learning as he goes along. That's what I think. That's what I think a politician, statesman in that position should be, learning as they go along. I don't want some guy that's like dyed in the wool and got a $3,000 suit. And,
Career politicians.
yeah, I don't care about the $3,000 suit even.
Yeah, who does? None of us can afford one.
Yeah.
So
Let me just proclaim here right now while we're in the mood that Bob Segarini is my, and I mean this sincerely, is my favorite writer of rock and roll songs. I love your writing. I love Living in the Movies. Don't believe a word I said. Dressing in the Dark. You were light years ahead of yourself. Gotta Have Pop, I think, was one of the best albums I've ever heard. I loved every cut on it, both sides. And both sides were uniquely different from each other. And the new stuff you're writing now is terrific. I don't know why you're not. Of course, I don't know why we're not all.
100 Airs?
Yeah, 100 Airs.
Anybody that followed in your footsteps in this country, every band I can think of that it still has any traction at all, owe the opportunity to that one song, Kelly, to Oh What a Feeling. That was the catalyst. That was the beginning of an actual, real rock and roll experience in this country. So
I think it was.
Let's stay on track here.
I think Crowbar is one of the most talented bands I've ever seen in my life.
How many of the original members played with you on Canada Day in 2013?
All of them.
Every single one.
Every single one, plus a couple more.
Yeah, I noticed.
Now we have a horn section.
You sounded as vibrant and as natural and as energetic as you did 40 years ago.
Wow.
No, you did. I stood there and I didn't even recognize Sonny because he looks more like an enforcer now than a drummer. He looks like he was coming to make sure that nobody.
Sonny Bernardi is probably the best rock drummer in Canada, and I know there's people that will say Neil Peart for whatever reason, but Sonny
also very funny.
Yes, yeah.
Funny Sonny, please.
Yes, he is very funny. We've had been years and years of.
Now you handpicked these guys, right? Back in the day.
I wouldn't say so, but
they picked you.
I think the King Biscuit Boy. We all knew each other, and it was a kind of consensual. Neil Nikifor just missed being a Crowbar by a couple of days, and he's done his time with Richard. But Richard wanted to have musicians that he could browbeat, could beat into submission, and also guys that were original.
Can we talk about Richard for just a minute?
Sure.
You and I and Graham Greene, you flew out from Calgary, and we went to Richard's wake here in Hamilton. Yeah. And I want to hear your take on Hamilton, too, in a minute. But I remember going there, and the place was packed. It must have been 1,500 people in that room. And we went downstairs to the green room, which was a little punk club under the place. Do you remember this?
Yeah, I sure do.
And there's Frankie Venom from Teenage Head, some other younger people. Every facet, every genre of music that has come out of this wonderful city was represented there in tribute to Richard Newell. And you led the parade on stage. I was so honored to be able to sing one song with you guys that day. But you had every musician in the place wanting to be on stage with Crowbar. And that was a great tribute and a great day.
Can't blame them. I mean, again, I'll just say that hearing them play the way they do with such enforcement, you know, they're I'm using your word now. They played with the authority that Ronnie Hawkins and King Biscuit Boy sort of infused in everybody, and plus they were polished to the hilt. I mean, the band didn't go on stage without the main idea was to play as hard and fast as we could, and to be as good as we could be, and have people make other bands tremble in the wings. You know, I love that. I love that whole.
You're still doing
that same hockey team mentality, you know.
What is it, do you think, about Hamilton that produces the kind of players that have come out of here forever. Tommy Wilson and that bunch. Even Tommy's son has a great roots band called Harlan Pepper.
Yeah.
What do you think it is about Hamilton, such a small area that has such a vital musical contribution to Canadian music?
When you look at something like San Francisco, and then you look at Oakland and Tower of Power come from all of that, I think it's because we're just far enough off the beaten track. And the music legacy that comes from Hamilton, when they finally get somebody in this city that cares about whatever, for example, the City Center Motel, it broke my heart that they're tearing it down, because it would have made a 1956 perfect kind of rock and roll motel and a campus of one of the universities, a side campus, you know, that they have. That was Ronnie Hawkins' things. He used to bring us out and get us working at the Grange or at Diamond Jim's or one of the bars out here, and before he'd take us into Yonge Street, play on the Le Cog d'Or or something like that. And I think that we developed a joy of playing together and wanting to play together. Crowbar had Bad Manners. We had a place that we could play until 4 o'clock in the morning and go to bed, get up at 10 o'clock and start all over again. And also we'd go to the Elmore and all these the Golden Garter and the Golden Rail. Go to all these bars that had.
So always a vibrant scene here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Bad Manners, you know that we were close in those days when I was playing. Every time I played in Hamilton, I would stay at Bad Manners overnight and sleep on the snake, that insane couch you had. It was just a
30-foot snake.
30-foot snake of couch. And I don't think I ever went to bed before the sun came up.
That came off our bus.
Yeah, well, it was quite comfortable, actually. I'd have to throw half of it over my face to keep the sun out of my eyes. But you had a lot of very famous guests at Bad Manners, including John Lennon, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, we're letting that one just...
You don't want to tell that story? Come on.
No, we'll let other people tell the story. But Chris Christopherson was there one time for a big dance we were having up in the barn. And Graham was the bartender. He had a tip jar. And Chris Christopherson actually tipped him $100 American. By the way, when I come here now, I stay at the Pool House. I have a new place that is legendary as Bad Manners. The Pool House.
The Pool House.
Yes. There's a pool and a house. And
hence the name, the Pool House.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alvin Lee, he came up to
Yeah, Alvin Lee was there.
He could hardly play.
And Nazareth.
Yeah, right.
Nazareth.
Yeah, the Nazareth guys. Alvin Lee can.
And every Canadian musician you can think of.
There's a story that
About Burton Cummings in the trunk of a limousine? It's a lie!
No, but I'd like to hear that one too. It's news to me. You put Burton in a trunk of a limousine?
The legend was that he was too drunk to sit in the car and not puke on the upholstery. So they put him in the trunk and drove him down to his hotel.
Sounds like his wedding.
It was a limo.
Yeah, trunk of a.
Yeah.
No, the story. Not a lot of people remember this or know this, but you did your time at Chem FM on the radio. We were both there at the same time in 1981 or 2. I did 10 to 2, and then your traveling circus came in at 2 a.m. until the morning show. And I want you to tell the story about, I came in one night and you had maybe 20 or 30 people in the control room, but there was a band there with horns. And tell that story. How that
Tower of Power.
Yes, tell that story.
The Tower of Power guys came in for the horn. So while I was reading the weather reports and my wife, Carrie Knickel, was reading them, they'd be playing in the background. So next day I get called into Mr. Wood's office and damn near fired for having Tower of Power play on the radio. I thought, are you kidding me? You're like giving me shit for having Tower of Power horn section, who was in there that night and had blown everybody away.
They were incredible.
They were incredible. And you want to give me shit for having them play? And then the other time I got into shit with them was when I played the Hawaiian War Chant by Spike Jones in between Rock Lobster and another pop band. I just hated where they went. Man, I loved Chum FM though. I loved working for them. It was the most fun you could have.
Your show was so theater of the mind, so wonderful. It was so much fun.
It sure was.
So much
And
fun.
here's a great Chum FM story. It was this guy named Bob Segarini did a shift at Chum FM and got fired for some reason.
Oh, I'll tell you
Walked
that
to the
story.
lobby of Chum FM, picked up the phone, and called Q107 and went to work at 11 o'clock that morning.
They wanted me.
Yeah, they did. And you walk down the street.
Oh, yeah. What are you going to do? What other, you've done so many things and you've helped so many musicians. Seeing Raleigh, I mean, again, the original band of Crowbar, the players are so great and they're still with you and they're still playing as good as they ever did, if not better.
Yeah.
You got to understand the devotion that these people have for you, that they will play with you anytime, anywhere.
Well, I appreciate that. I love it that there's that much caring about it, whatever. But really, the beginning and the end of the whole thing is the fact that they're brilliant musicians that play with earnest and rehearse. I mean, they rehearse in sections. 4 of the guys will go and just the ethic of going to rehearse on something themselves just to make sure it's tight. I actually freaked out sitting there thinking, God, they're playing songs that I wrote the words to. And I got to get sharper here. I got to pick up on it instead of just like slurring over the words and whatever. Stacked up over LA International Airport, 20 minutes from the Hollywood Hills. No sleep in sight. I've been awake all night. I guess it has to do with Biscuit, probably. I think he gave me more incentives and more lessons and more things. Gave all of us.
Well, you championed Biscuit, and he was like your brother.
Oh yeah.
I mean, those moments that you guys played together. You know Johnny V.
Yeah.
We lost John.
He did a great album with Richard.
Did a wonderful album with Richard. And excuse me, I could hear your influence on that record. I mean, I think actually you permeated it.
Well, him and I worked out a lot of things. I mean, Paul Pantizak over here knows more about Richard lore than I do. But here's a story for you. We played the North Toronto, North Yonge Street, Algonquin? No.
Algonquin Hotel?
Yeah, there's a bar up there. And Paul, what's his name from David Letterman?
Paul Schaefer.
Paul Schaefer showed up to see the band and do whatever. As we're walking in the bar that night, there was this kid waiting for an autograph from Richard. So he goes, can I give him an autograph? And Richard's signing it to him. The kid says, "You're the greatest blues singer, greatest harmonica player that this country has ever known." And Richard said, "Yeah, like you'd know." But then, an hour later, he's sitting with the kid with his arm around him, his shoulder doing, "Yeah, but like you'd know." I mean, he was a
Is there anything at all that you'd like to get onto film right now? Anything you want to say? Any story you might want to share? Anything?
For God's sakes, let's get Hamilton back to where it should be. This is the prettiest garden city in North America, maybe even the globe. I've traveled around Europe a bit, and I've seen Paris. I mean, Hamilton it's Paris. It should be, and everybody should work on their buildings and loosen up with all the regulations and encourage anybody who wants to start an organization of some sort to start it. Never mind putting all kinds of work in front of them so that musicians can be attracted to these places.
So, even though, how long have you been in Calgary?
Oh, Calgary itself, I went out in 1986.
You still regard Hamilton as your home?
Oh, God, yeah.
You ever think you'll ever come back?
If they clear the air up a bit. But think about it, though, you know. I mean, we're in this whole beautiful bay area where if we got rid of, sorry to say it, but the steel mills, which have done a lot of service for this city, and replace them with yachts and sailboats and things, this would be a fabulous playground and a great place to live, and with a great spirit. I mean, the people that live here, and any of the blues cruises that they have here, or the memorial for King Biscuit, boy, I think it was it the 10th year this year?
Biscuit?
Yeah.
10th year since his passing.
The 10th memorial?
It was the 11th show because we did the first
Oh,
show
okay.
just after he passed away, so it's been 10 years this year.
And the money they raise goes to a scholarship. So that's musicians that organized that and did it. I think that the more... I said to Pierre Trudeau one time, we were talking about things, and I said, you should start the Ministry of Rock and Roll. You got the Ministry of Lands and Forests and you know, all the little different organizations that we have in this country. You should have a Ministry of Rock and Roll, which is like the culture of this country, so that we can not necessarily catalog things, but encourage things with ways to do it. That's why we still do our logo with the Canadian flag, Canadian insignia.
What did you say when you brought that up?
I think that's a wonderful idea, Kelly. And he had all these yes men, but heavy thinkers. These guys they weren't just guys that were hanging around for whatever, like you see on Newsroom or Veep. These were real thinkers and real doers who could actually have done that.
Well, maybe his son could perhaps hear this and be motivated to see it through.
Vote for Justin Trudeau.
Thanks for your time. I don't want to keep running.
Thanks, Bob. My name is Kelly J. I come from a long line of Canadian musicians. I've been a Canadian musician for over 50 years, and I've made hundreds and hundreds of dollars. You might say I'm a hundredaire. When I worked with Ronnie Hawkins, I had nothing, and I still have most of it left.